Hello, family. Once again, welcome back to this platform. Something remarkable, something is happening in Senegal. Why am I saying this? Senegalese government has halt all extradition to France over lack of reciprocity, which means that this is one of the attempts that Assi Dioma Faye, the government or the president of Senegal, is initiating. Now, you all know France ties with Senegal, how it moves, all these Francophone countries, how it is being done. Always it's like France is making the rules. All these head of states are not making the rules. It's only France that is making the rules for all these Francophone countries. Now, this is what is making most of the African people or African young people, youth, are happy with the initiatives that the government of Senegal has taken. Now, what brought about all these things? What happened before all these things came into initiative? Before we look at what happened before all these things came into existence, let's look at what is extradition. Just the point that I am a president of another state, another country, like let's say Senegal, and you are also a president of France. We both had agreement that if somebody commits a crime in my country and the person relocates into your state, if I made a request for you to extradite that person into my state, yours is to comply with it. You bring the person back to me. The same applies to me also. Likewise, if somebody offended or did a crime in your state, my responsibility is to extradite the person to you. So that is it. But here lies the case: France is not obeying that contract. France is not doing that. They make it very difficult. Whenever they request somebody from France, they won't do it. But whenever they ask somebody from Senegal, they are always doing it. So now, because of two men which are currently under investigation in Senegal, two men, they have relocated into France and they requested that France to bring them and they refused. So because of that, 12 people are in Senegal right now who have committed a crime in France, and Senegal has refused to send them back because of the two people that France refused to send them back to Senegal. That's massive and that's amazing, right? Let's give a clap to Senegal government. Let's give a clap. It's really interesting that sometimes African presidents try to take some bold steps in some of these things. Now, this is a report. On December 11, 2025, Senegalese Justice Minister Yassine Faye announced before Parliament that the government will halt all extradition to France. The decision came after France refused to extradite two Senegalese nationals wanted in Dakar for alleged financial crimes. It's just simple. The justice system in Dakar is saying that we are not going to send people to France anymore because whenever we ask, you made it difficult. You refuse our request for you to extradite people that have committed crime against us in our country and relocated into your country. It's like you are harboring criminals now. You are protecting crime syndicates. So we are no more going to cooperate with you unless you are willing to cooperate with us. That's crazy, man. It's really massive. I bet you this is one of the happiest things that I want to be here on the African continent. So as I said earlier, currently, Senegal is holding 12 individuals who are wanted in France over crimes. And they are holding them there in Senegal. They said, unless you put up the people that we requested before, we cannot bring these people back to you. Now, I think Africa or African leaders should start exhibiting this kind of characteristics. They should start doing the right thing. One thing about our world is that all the colonial masters of all the African nations, most of the time they have a contract, extradition contract with them or treaty with them. That whenever somebody did something in their country and the person came to hide in your state, you have to extradite the person to them. And likewise, the same have to apply to them. Whenever somebody is wronged in your country or did something criminally or crime in your country, and the person relocates into their state, theirs is to bring the person back to you. But most of the times, they are harboring the criminals. They are saying that is not amount to witch hunting or there's not enough evidence against the person. Like how? That should not be their problem, So that's what African presidents should be doing now. If you request somebody and they refuse to bring it back, yours is to also put a requirements or put a law that says you're not going to cooperate with them again. Simple. If they are willing to cooperate, you cooperate with them. That's what we are looking at over here. Let's look at the report that was written by a news platform before we get into more details. The report says Senegal suspends extradition to France over lack of reciprocity. Senegal announced on 11 December 2025 that it has suspended all extradition proceedings to France, citing an imbalance in how the bilateral extradition agreement is applied. The Minister of Justice told Parliament that while Senegal received 19 extradition requests from France in 2024, granting 3, rejecting 4, and leaving 10 pending, France has refused to extradite 2 Senegalese nationals requested by Dakar. She reaffirmed that Senegal does not extradite its own citizens, including dual nationals, and underscores that the principle of reciprocity must guide cooperation between the two countries. With Paris currently seeking the extradition of 12 individuals, Senegal said these cases will not proceed until its own requests are honored. Authorities added that suspects involved in criminal offences will continue to be arrested and prosecuted domestically, but will not be transferred to France custody under the current circumstances. The government stressed that Senegal intends to defend its interests while reminding partners that international agreement must be applied fairly by all parties. So that's the statement released by the Senegalese government. Now, somebody may be asking, what did these two men or this person did till that got Senegalese government or justice system very furious and angry and saying that they are not going to send people to France anymore until France abide by their own requests, until France release the people to them. What did the people did? Let's look at this man over here. His name is Madembe Daniel. He is a prominent Senegalese journalist, a mogul, a founder of Avenue Communication Group, which is a media publisher. For clarity, his company publishes news and newspapers, and he is also an outspoken critic of the current Senegalese government, but a close ally to the former government, Macky Sall, the president. He's a very close ally to that president. And it's been said that this guy, on the term of Macky Sall, he does not criticize or say anything about Macky Sall because they are close allies. They do things hand in hand. But for this current government, he's a very huge outspoken and critic of this government. That's one of the things that people are looking into. Now, what are the accusations against him? You may be asked. He is being accused of financial irregularities and corruption, specifically receiving kickbacks approximately $32 million in connection with public contracts. Now, this man is currently in France. He fled Senegal in September 2025, despite there is a travel ban on him after an international arrest warrant was issued. He was arrested in France in October 2025, but released under judicial supervision. Not only that, this man's families are arrested in Senegal. They were picked up by the Senegalese justice system in Senegal. But I don't understand. Why should you pick somebody's family if the person commits crime and jackpot and run away from the country? Are you in any position to arrest the family? No, because I don't think any law has to guide that. That is a good thing that you should do. That's not the way of serving justice, and I think this is not speaking well of the Senegalese government. I think so. Because why should you arrest somebody family for his own crime? That's not well enough. You get it? Now let's break this down so that we will get to understand very carefully what he did before he's been accused of financial fraud and whatever financial crime. Now this man introduced a French company called Eclipse Project International. The company is a construction company firm that specializes in African construction. He introduced the company to the government of Senegal to rebuild the judicial system, to build some of the prisons, to build some of the offices, or to build some of the courts in Senegal or infrastructures, judicial infrastructures. So he introduced this company, and in returns, he did not just introduce the companies for free. In returns, he won some kickbacks. You get it? So he has so many opportunities, so many advantages because this man owns a media empire. You know, he has fame. He is like well known in Senegal because of his fame. So this man just put it in this way. Okay, I am going to introduce you to the government, and in this way, I have a media platform, a media empire, and with my company, I'm going to be putting you on each and every day. Everybody is going to be seeing your company, and I'm going to be saying good things about your company, so that will sink into the minds of the authorities. I'm going to say good things about you on my platform. And with that too, I'm going to put pressure on the government to be able to award you the contract. And in all these things that I'm going to do to you, I'm going to take in return some kickbacks. That's it. You can clearly see the scenario over here. But look, for the matter of fact, it is not wrong in any way that a citizen will introduce a company or construction company to the government for the well-being of the country. But it's actually wrong in so many ways that you introduce a company to the government in returns for some funds. You want to receive some kickbacks from the company. You don't own the company. The company does not owe you anything. You don't have to receive any money from the company, or you don't have to draw any contract for the company so that you can also get your own. It's like he is awarding this contract to the company because he wants something in return. You get it? And it is a crime. It is a crime in every country that we can name it. It's a crime, and you'll be held responsible for that. You can be charged with these allegations: facilitating a contract for personal gain, corruption and influence partly receiving kickbacks, subcontract payment and embezzling of public funds, suspicion of financial fraud. He can be charged with those charges. And so as we see, basically he's being accused of playing the man in that. And if you want to introduce a company to the government, fine, but you can feel like you have to gain something out of it, or you have something out there to gain from this contract. that you are introducing a company to the government. I think it's not fair and it's very wrong. The question stands that people are asking: is it right for him to be accused of whatever they are saying that he's being charged of? And is it a political movement that we will see that like this man is being witch hunt by the Senegalese government because he's been outspoken and he's criticizing this current government, or because he's a friend of the former government? Which is which? Now, I also want to ask a question. Do people think that France is actually protecting this guy because this man has introduced a French company to the Senegalese government, or because the evidence against him that they think is not much enough to extradite this person to Senegal? Which is which? But for the matter of fact, it is right for somebody to go in for his crime. If he has actually committed those crimes in Senegal, he has to go in for it. That's the fact. So which is which? Whatever it is, just put your own opinion in the comment section. If you think this man is being witch hunted by the Senegalese government and he's being accused because he provided a French company and get some kickbacks, then put it in the comment section. If you think France is protecting this guy because he actually introduced a French company to the Senegalese government, drop your opinion in the comment section. Whatever it is, thank you for watching this channel.